Sure. Here's a historical short story based on real events. The Last Stand of the Samurai. It was the winter of 1868, a time of great change in Japan. The Tokugawa Shogunate, which had ruled the country for over 250 years, was on the verge of collapse. The winds of modernization, brought by the Western world, had reached the shores of the island nation, and with them came a powerful force known as the Meiji Restoration. For centuries, the samurai had stood as the guardians of Japan, their code of honor, the Bushido, forming the foundation of their identity. But as the shogunate crumbled, so too did the world they had known. Faced with the rise of the new imperial government, many samurai resisted, unwilling to accept the end of their way of life. Among them was Saigo Takamori, a respected samurai and military leader who had once supported the Meiji government, but grew disillusioned by its policies. He saw the rapid westernization of Japan as a betrayal of its ancient traditions. In 1877, he led a final, desperate revolt against the imperial forces, an uprising known as the Satsuma Rebellion. Saigo, once a hero of the new government, now stood against it with an army of samurai, peasants, and disaffected soldiers. The rebellion began in the southern island of Kyushu, where Saigo and his men were able to rally support from the local populace. But the imperial army, well-trained and well-equipped with modern weapons, was formidable. Saigo's forces, armed only with swords, spears, and a few firearms, were no match for the government's artillery and modern tactics. The battle came to a head in the hills of Shiroyama. The samurai, vastly outnumbered and outgunned, made a final stand against the imperial army. The clash between the traditional and the modern, between the old world and the new, was embodied in this last tragic moment. Saigo, severely wounded, refused to surrender. In his final hours, he ordered his loyal men to fight to the death. The samurai fought bravely, but in the end, they were overwhelmed. Saigo himself fell in battle, either killed by the enemy or, according to some reports, taking his own life to preserve his honor. With his death, the Satsuma Rebellion came to an end, marking the final defeat of the samurai in Japan. Though Saigo Takamori's rebellion was crushed, his legacy lived on. He became a symbol of the old samurai spirit, a martyr who had fought for what he believed was the soul of Japan. Today, he is remembered as one of the country's most revered historical figures, a man who stood against the tides of change to protect the traditions he loved. In a sense, Saigo's life and death mirrored the fate of the samurai themselves, the warriors who had shaped Japan for centuries, but who ultimately fell in the face of a new, changing world. Yet their influence remains woven into the fabric of Japan's culture and history, even as the world they once knew fades into the past. This is a brief narrative of a pivotal moment in Japanese history. I hope it captures the essence of that era for you.